Good morning. It's Wednesday, August 19th. I'm Alex, and this is Main Street Briefing. Today, the Fed shows its cards at 2 o'clock, the SBA quietly doubled what you can borrow, and Jackson Hole picks a theme that lands on your counter. 3 stories, 5 minutes, done. Start with today's calendar. Minutes from the July 28th and 29th Federal Reserve meeting are released at 2 p.m. Eastern this afternoon. At that meeting, the Fed held its benchmark rate at 3.5 to 3.75%. 3 members dissented, and notably, they wanted a hike, not a cut. The majority sided with Chair Warsh to hold until at least September, when the committee will have both the July and August inflation reports in hand. Here is why a set of meeting notes matters to a business with a line of credit. The minutes reveal how close that hike vote actually was, and markets reprice on that reading within minutes. If your working capital line is priced off prime, a Fed move flows to you almost immediately because prime tracks the federal funds rate nearly 1-for-1. If it is priced off SOFR, the timing and the size are different. Most owners genuinely do not know which one they have until the rate changes and the payment moves. The dissents are the detail to focus on because 3 votes for a hike is an unusual configuration heading into a September decision. What to watch? Pull the rate sheet on your credit line today and confirm whether your index is prime or SOFR, because that single line determines how much a September decision costs you. Now, some good news on capital that got very little attention. Since July 4th, eligible small businesses can combine the SBA's 7A and 504 programs to access up to $10 million in total government-backed financing. The cap on each individual program is unchanged at $5 million, but stacking them is now permitted for larger expansion, equipment, and commercial real estate projects. Pricing follows the Fed. SBA rates are pegged to the prime rate, currently 6.75%, and the optional peg rate near 4.5% this quarter. That puts variable 7A loans roughly in the 9 to 11.5% range. Qualifying has not gotten easier. Most lenders still want a 680 credit score, 2 years in business, and a debt service coverage ratio of 1.15 or better. The point is that a project you priced at $7 million and shelved as unfinanceable may now pencil out. One caution, stacking 2 programs means 2 sets of underwriting, 2 closings, and 2 sets of fees. So build 8 to 12 weeks into your project timeline rather than 4. What to watch? If you have an expansion or equipment project between $5 and $10 million, ask your lender this week whether a combined 7A and 504 structure clears because that pairing did not exist 6 weeks ago. And one to put on the calendar. The Kansas City Fed's Jackson Hole Symposium runs August 27th through the 29th, with the chair's keynote Friday morning, the 28th. The theme this year is financial innovation and its implications for payments and policy. That is worth your attention because the people who set your borrowing costs are spending 3 days on how money actually moves, which is the plumbing behind your card settlement times, your instant payment options, and the fees your bank charges to move funds same day. Themes chosen at Jackson Hole tend to show up in regulation 12 to 18 months later. For an owner, this is not an abstract macro event. It is an early read on whether the cost and speed of getting paid changes next year. There's a practical angle for anyone who takes cards or waits on deposits. Faster settlement rails have been rolling out for a couple of years now, and the gap between banks offering same-day availability and banks still holding funds 2 business days is widening. That gap is worth real money to a business making payroll on a Thursday. What to watch? Block 20 minutes. Friday, August 28th for the keynote coverage, and listen specifically for instant payments and settlement, because that language is the tell for whether your deposit holds get shorter in 2027. That's your Wednesday. I'm Alex, back tomorrow with 3 more. Go make it a good one.